I need to restore my honor, and only capturing your money with patreon.com/recesscast productions can do that. I'll get honor, you get bonus episodes and early access. It's a win-win. Again, set course for patreon.com/recesscast productions. Enjoy the show, and give me honor.
There's a podcast run by two dudes, brought in some friends with attitudes, lots to compare and contrast. There's a couple lines in there I forget. Then it goes, after credits, secret podcast. Starring Aaron and Nicole, I am Ryan, and here we go. Yeah.
I will say the second line had a bit more rhythm to it when I had Chaz and Bo in there, but then they dropped. I'm like, I'll have to rewrite this shit. Fuck.
Yeah, I think you missed the line where it ends, and die.
Oh yeah, and die.
Oh yeah, and die.
Welcome to the After Credits Cast, the only film podcast to be introduced by a song like that. Ryan introduced us. We don't need to go anymore. You can follow us on platforms of choice, including Patreon, YouTube, Pippa, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio. You know the drill. We've been there, done that. And
one of them's not real.
Yep, YouTube is not real. Don't believe in it. And then, of course, we have a few things you can follow us on: Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, all the fun stuff there. And then, Ryan, there's also an email. What is that email they could email us at?
That email is ihateimpromptusongs@gmail. Excuse me. Sorry. That's evacstation@gmail.com.
I don't know who would hate impromptu songs. That's
right.
There's so much
What
fun.
kind of monster does that?
It's me. I'm that kind of monster.
Probably the same guy who hates improv.
Funny, I didn't have much improv in my life until I met you, Aaron.
No, but I think your life's been better for it, though.
I guess.
Wow.
So we have a couple episodes for you tonight. We're in season 2. We're getting the thick of it now. So tonight we're doing side A, season 1, episode 1. Season 2, episode 1. Typo on my part there. The Avatar State, originally airing March 17th, 2006. This was directed by Giancarlo Volpe and written by Aaron Eaz and his wife, or previous wife, Elizabeth Welsh Eaz, and Tim Hedrick and John O'Brien. Yes, there's a lot of writers for this one. Animated by DR Movie. The cast includes some new names, including Daniel Day Kim as General Fawn, Takayo Fisher as Lo and Lee, and introducing none other than Gray Delisle. Is it Delisle? I'm so bad at this. Gray Delisle as Princess Azula.
Well, not as bad as Ryan.
Oh, it was Miyazaki. Yeah.
I swear to God, if Miyazaki is in this is in these fun facts,
what's his first name? I forget, Ryan.
Miyazaki. God damn it.
What's his first name though? I
His
forget.
name
Like it's
is
on the
Mr.
tip of my.
Miyazaki.
But
Like,
Ryan, what
tongue, but I can't
it
quite
would be
get it.
so improper for me to use his first name. I must simply call him Mr. Miyazaki.
But Ryan, how do I know which Miyazaki's which? Is he the one who did Dark Souls or the one who did Ghibli?
That's true.
God damn it, his name is Mr. Miyazaki. Hey, we have some fun facts for you guys today. The first of which, in the scene where Azula's ship captain accidentally reveals that Zuko and Iroh are prisoners, facepalm, the creators originally planned on Zula vaporizing the man on the spot, but later decided that was just a little too harsh. They gotta hold back on the darkness. It already starts kind of dark.
Nah, corporal punishment all the way.
Right?
Yep.
Well, next up, Zuko and Iroh cutting their hair parallels the story of Buddha, who, when starting his journey of self-discovery and enlightenment, cut off his hair beside a river. So, a lovely little aside to Asian culture as well. Mm-hmm. And finally, this episode had 4 writers involved in the writing process, which is more than any other episode had until the Tales of Ba Sing Se. I'm not ready for that just yet. We've got some time before that one.
That's
Before I start crying.
That's gonna break us a little bit. Hopefully the other boys are here because
Yeah.
I know that one breaks Chaz a little bit.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's just gonna be like a half hour of everybody crying.
It's like I knew Iroh's short was coming up, and I still couldn't prepare myself.
Because you can't prepare yourself for that.
You can't. You really can't. And even Zuko's is actually pretty touching when you think about it too. But we'll get there. We'll get there. There's still a few episodes away. I got a synopsis for you boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen. The gang meets up with the Earth General Thawne for his next step in the Avatar process, bypassing years of tradition to go straight to nuking people with the Avatar state. Katara is against this, reasonably so. Things got out of hand when General Thawne nearly kills the gang and his militia, enforcing Aang to go Super Saiyan. They leave, going back to Plan A, finding a rock-throwing master. Meanwhile, Zuko and Iroh become wanted fugitives of the Fire Nation, deemed traitors for what happened in the Northern Water Tribe. Azula gleefully tries to apprehend them, but good help is so far hard to find, and the duo are clued into Azula's lies. They escape, get a haircut, and hit the road.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep. Pretty short, sweet, to the point. Yeah. So, given a question, I guess, to start off with, given Aang's aggressively short timeline, is there any validity to skipping to the Avatar state? And what are your thoughts on Roku's warning about the Avatar state?
Well, I like the obvious answer to this is no. We've already kind of flirted with the idea of power without wisdom behind it in episode 1 with Zhang, and which ended with Katara getting burned and almost like maimed for a while until she figured out how to heal. So, jumping straight to the Avatar state without the wisdom and the experiences gained from all four of them. Of course, Aang was never going to be able to control it. So yeah, it was definitely a bad idea. But I do like that they have built in a weak point to the Avatar state, because otherwise it would just be like, oh well, once Aang masters this, then the war is over, and that actually might just be the better way to do this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, from everything that we know and that the main gang knows, like that, because they have an idea of all of this, but to an outside perspective, I can see like where he's coming from, like, oh, just go into the Avatar state, forehead. That'll fix this war. He's also like, what's the timeline that like people have found out that the Avatar is back? Because like, you're the general, like you find out the Avatar is back, just like, oh, and he's coming in to see you, like, oh, sick, just go into the Avatar state and we can end this 100-year war.
I mean, I guess I haven't really paid attention to how the timeline's been going, but I know that it was probably like around episode 3 or 4 when the news of the Avatar's return was a thing because of the statues lighting up. But as far as like this general preparing for Aang to show up, I would guess it'd probably be about the time he showed up in the Water Tribe, because I'm sure they sent messages from there to them saying, hey, he's mastering waterbending, he'll be coming your way next, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the timeline between then and now is relatively short, because I don't think he was in the Northern Water Tribe for more than maybe a week. And that's being generous. It might have actually been like a few days.
Yeah.
What I really like about this plan to try and force the Avatar state is that it sets the tone for like really what we're going to be getting out of the season, like right off the bat. You know, like season 1, you have it pretty clear cut. The Fire Nation is bad, everybody else is good. And they dip into episodes where things get a little grayer, like with Jet and things like that. But in this one, the guys that like are actively working with the Water Nation and are going to be getting him to his next master so that he can master earthbending, actually flip the script and threaten to kill the Avatar's closest friends to try and gain some traction in this war. So it's interesting because you see the desperation that the Earth Nation has been driven to after 100 years of war, but it also introduces the concept that, hey, everybody you think is good might not be good, or might not be all the way good. Like, they might have it started from a good place, but over 100 years of being conquered, like, some horrible shit has taken place and have taken root in their hearts. So it's like you see, what if Jet became a general? Now what is he willing to do? And that's how they start the season. So I really like that.
Oh yeah, no, I love what they do in season 2. Like, if you had to put all 3 seasons like up against one another, I might say season 2 is my favorite, because it really does bring in like this gray morality of like, oh hey, so you thought the Fire Nation were the only bad guys? Well, here's like 10 more.
Yeah, it's just a breaking down. Like, at first it was like a slow breakdown of Aang's innocence of thinking everything's black and white. Okay, Fire Nation bad, everyone else good. But now that we hit season 2, like, he's gonna get a rude awakening of what the world actually be like.
Oh yeah, I'm thirsty for Ba Sing Se. That there's so much good stuff going on there. I'm looking forward to it.
Ba Sing Se tripped me up, man. I was not ready.
But it's so good though.
It's really good.
Okay, I'm going to skip to the bottom one real quick because it ties into this. Knowing what you know about the previous season, what would you have tried to do to trigger the Avatar state?
I mean, the concept of, hey, there's this one dude that's powerful enough to go up against the Fire Nation and pretty much win the war. And he has a mode where essentially he becomes God among us. But, like, hearing other people say, well, in order to do that, he has to be threatened or placed in danger, that automatically disqualifies it for me. It's just like, no, that's a bad idea. I'm not going to threaten... I don't want to threaten the person that's going to save us all. But B, if I'm threatening him and he gets into this God mode out of pure rage, is he going to go off and fight the Fire Nation? Like, that's a ways away? Or is he going to fight me, who is threatening his girlfriend right now? I feel like the whole plan was short-sighted.
A bit.
It's just like, oh, that's great. All we have to do is figure out how to get you to control it. Oh, shit. Are you mad? That I'm about to kill. Oh, hey, look, she's fine.
Hashtag you mad, bro.
Fuck. I'm just hearing Arrested Development. I've made a terrible mistake.
I'm in danger.
Yes, absolutely.
No. So I was thinking about this, and so you know those elaborate death traps in like James Bond movies where they tie him down and they have like a shark tank or a laser coming up to his dick or something?
Yeah.
I would just do that. Just tie Aang down to a conveyor belt, slowly move his dick towards the laser. Like, okay, go Avatar state, you're gonna lose your dick. You know, it just.
Yeah.
So you're gonna lose it. Jesus Christ, man.
I mean, that seems like a pretty fair torture. Knowing guys like, all right, either go into the Avatar state or you're gonna lose your dick.
Yeah, let's just castrate children. Let's go ahead and do that.
Brian, you're telling me you wouldn't just pop into the Avatar state instead of losing your dick?
I mean, if I had any control over it, then we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place.
Ryan, if I had your feet dunked into like cement and threw you in a tank full of sharks with laser beams on their head, you'd go Avatar state. I know you would.
Yeah. Wait, we got sharks with laser beams on their head?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was going for gators, but they only had sharks on sale, so that's what I could do.
Okay, that's fine.
But no, that'd be the way to do it, man. Just tank of sharks. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, plus, like, until Aang says something, did he even know that Aang couldn't control it? Like, as far as he knew, only he couldn't control, like, going into it.
I think
once he's in it.
He explicitly said, hey, I can't control going into it, and when I do, it's just, like, indiscriminate.
Yeah, but did he know that before, actually talking to Aang?
Probably not.
I don't think... Probably not, but here's the thing. If the Avatar said that, I would listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, I don't know how to get into this state, and I gotta tell you something. I feel a little blazed whenever I go into it, man. I got no control, man.
God.
Speaking of blaze, why does everyone from the Fire Nation seem to underestimate how powerful and wise Iroh freaking is? Like, holy shit.
My guess is that Iroh has. My guess is that Iroh's been playing the long con for like 20 years after, like a good 10 years after the death of his son. He's just like, I'm just gonna hang back. Nah.
Yeah, his defeat of Ba Sing Se, the loss of his son, he was grieving. So they probably saw him as like a weaker man for like openly grieving for his son, and not like a strong Fire Nation soldier. Plus, he was in exile with Zuko.
But like, y'all saw him nearly take out Ba Sing Se prior to all this shit. Like, y'all know he can't do this shit.
Yeah, but
they be dumb, man.
People be dumb, and like we don't know what like the Fire Nation has been saying about Iroh. They could have just been like slandering him, telling him that like he's not as great as everybody thought. That's why he lost at Ba Sing Se.
Yeah, that'd be like the Trump administration saying that or people who follow Trump saying, "Oh yeah, no, Chuck Norris, he ain't no big deal. He's some old piece of shit." And then you turn around, he's like beating up 5 dudes with one finger.
Well, like Ryan said, people be dumb, and as far as the Fire Nation military, like they're just listening to orders. Plus, you think of Iroh as like this ripped dude, and you come to see actual Iroh, and he's just like this fat dude sipping on tea. Are you actually like going to be intimidated and believe the legends?
I mean, they're legends for a reason. I'd believe them.
Yeah, but there's also legends of the Avatar, and look where he's been.
I mean, he's back though. There he is. I see him turn into a giant fish monster.
Oh, there he is, doing God's will.
Okay. If halfway decent Earthbenders are capable of burying people like Katara, how are the Fire Nation soldiers really a threat? Or is this why the Fire Nation really hasn't taken over the Earth Kingdom just yet?
Also, the Earth Kingdom is just massive.
Yeah, it's got that America problem of being really big.
Yeah, it's kind of big.
My understanding of it is that while the Earth Kingdom's army is really good at both offense and defense, the Fire Nation is so mechanically advanced, but also purely focused on offense that it's hard to mount an offensive against the Fire Nation, because you can't, like, it's hard to bury people when like literal fireballs are being thrown at you like from every direction.
Yeah.
That
if
was
they're
my
on their ships.
Yeah, or if they're on their ships, like in the water, just throwing cannons at you for some fucking reason.
Exactly. So it's just a really powerful offense meeting a powerful offense, so then they're just at a standstill.
Yeah, unmovable or unsolvable forces colliding. I get that.
Yeah.
But still, man, just being able to just be like, move your hand, just bury someone without thinking about it, like that's crazy. Fucking, that's Ryan Reynolds shit right there.
Yeah. Also, the army was going up against the gang before they all became like super masters. Like towards the, like a little bit past the halfway point of this season, like everybody on the squad is like a master bender.
Yeah.
Just, like they're just like actually fighting against the army and shit. So like they're still babbies right now. They're still babbies.
Well, no, but I mean, like, but at the same time, though, these babbies can handle Fire Nation soldiers pretty regularly on their own without too much hassle. So, by that logic, if like Katara, for example, who is the one that gets buried, can handle a Fire Nation soldier, and the Earth guy can beat Katara, then logically speaking, those Earthbenders who can bury Katara should be able to bury most of those Firebender Nation soldiers.
We'll also keep in mind that they were surrounded, and they were coming there with the intent that these people were allies. So they're essentially getting ambushed all around by all sides by trained soldiers.
That sounds like leftist propaganda right there.
Plus, it being the Fire Nation, your odds of actually fighting one soldier like one-on-one seem to be pretty low. They seem to, go in hordes.
Fair play. Final question I got listed here, then we can move on to the next one unless anyone's got anything they want to add. What were your initial thoughts on Zuko and Iroh cutting off their hair, and why did you originally think they did it? Beyond just, hiding their identities, because, that scar, that ain't gonna fool anyone.
Nah, he was fine. It's on the wrong side.
A symbolism, mostly cutting their ties to the royal family.
Yeah, that's mostly how I interpreted it. I don't know, I don't know, the deeper ramifications of that, but I knew it signified something deeper with the amount of ceremony and gravitas around that moment. It's just they're cutting ties at this point.
Yeah, they're cutting ties with the royal family. They're cutting ties with
Fire
their
Nation
old selves to start anew. Yeah, you go through a personal change, a common thing that people do is change up their hair.
Oh yeah, I mean, didn't Sakura do that in the Naruto series? Yeah. It's a thing they do in anime.
Yeah, it's a trope. It's a common trope in anime, and this is just a deeper, a lot more ceremonious with deeper meanings. Besides, do the common people even know that Zuko has a scar? He got wrecked in the Agni Kai and then got banished. How much do people actually know about the royal family? I would think that their identities, you would hear of them, but would you be able to put a name to a face?
I mean, there are wanted posters, so you'd think at some point someone would be like, "Oh, hey, you look like the guy in the poster."
I suppose so later on, but at first.
Yeah. But no, I did appreciate finding out about the whole Buddhism thing, though, because that was really cool, because it does build up this whole, now Zuko is starting his own self-enlightenment journey going forward. That's literally what Season 2 is for him, so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this episode is, I guess these first few episodes, but this one in particular, it's a lot of setup for what's going to be some major payoffs here in, 3 or 4 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, this was just my shit. I just love this. It's such a great beginning to the series.
Yeah.
To the series. When you like you mentioned, it's a lot of really kick-ass setup. So just seeing how this all pays off at the end is massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing too, is you don't normally see a lot of really good setup. Usually setup's oh, okay, this is Act 1, it's not that interesting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually did it. They delivered pretty hard on this one, and that's impressive. Yeah. Usually the steam
it makes the setup interesting.
Yeah. Well, and usually
and not just we're waiting.
And usually the setup is after the last payoff, so we just had the finale. You'd think, oh, we're out of steam, we're just gonna do something to get things going, but no, they roll right with it. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With that, we'll move on to Side B, where we'll be discussing The Cave of Two Lovers. Gross. Airing March 24th, 2006. Written by Joshua Hamilton. It's his first writing credit on the show. And directed by Lauren McMullen. Animation was done by JM Animation, which, just a heads up, there's going to be a theme going back and forth between these two animation studios for most of this season. Some new characters to the cast. Let's see. D. Bradley Baker, who normally plays Appo and Momo, will be playing Chon. Lorraine Newman is Lily. Derek Bosco is Moku. By the way, that is also Dante Bosco's brother.
That's what I thought.
Kim May Guest as Son, and Barbara Goodson as the mom. She didn't get a name. I'm sorry. Ryan, you got some fun facts for me?
I do. We got 2 this time around. Chong's belief of focusing less on the destination and of the journey and more on the journey itself is similar to that of Taoism belief, where the path is the destination. It's also it's also one of the founding tenets of the Knights Radiant from Brandon Sanderson's series, The Stormlight Archive, which begins with journey before the first tenet ends with journey before destination. So I love that. I love hearing stuff like that.
Nice.
All right. Last fun fact for the evening. At one point, Chong says, "The tunnels, they're a-changin'." This, of course, being a reference to Bob Dylan's song, "The Times They Are A-Changin'," which was a hit in the 1960s, a time period affiliated with hippies. Not a basis for this episode at all. No, not at all.
But no, of course not.
Of course not.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, speaking of this episode, I got a synopsis here for you. The gang are escorted by a band of traveling weirdos into a cave with nothing but a box of scraps. A cave-in happens, forcing Sokka into a comical situation, while Aang and Katara are forced into a pseudo-romantic situation. If you ignore their assumed impending doom, which they do, kind of. The cave begins to glow, showing them a way out. They leave the tunnels, only to find Amashu has been retrofitted with trendy new red banners and an Ozai statue. Meanwhile, Iroh eats a flower, not a euphemism, and gets sick. They get help, get food, and steal a chicken horse.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
While this
You would
episode,
think that would be a euphemism for something.
I don't know. I don't know.
Ryan eating the flowers?
Like he's eating the wrong flowers, man.
Wow.
I gotta say.
Yeah? You got them good flowers?
I haven't had them good flowers in a couple years.
Oh man, I know a guy.
Damn. All right, hit me up after this. So we gotta talk.
All right.
I don't know a lot of guys who specialize in flowers you can eat, but okay. I guess I'd be a pimp, but whatever.
Oh my god.
This is a kid's show. So
This is a kid's show.
So there's a lot of stuff that happens in this episode, but not a lot of like concrete stuff. Like this is probably the most fillery episode we're gonna have for a bit, and then we're gonna get to mostly meat going forward. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So this is another episode focusing on the Aang Katara romance. Once again, does this feel a bit forced to you, or does this episode integrate it into the plot a bit more organically?
For me, like for that scene, all I could really think is like that meme, what if we kissed in the secret tunnel, JK, unless.
Like, yeah, you know I'm just playing. Unless you can do it. I mean,
Yeah, what? It'd be stupid for us to kiss in the secret tunnel.
So I often wonder, is it like, because it feels a little forced to me, but I'm wondering if it's just because I'm 30. like
Ryan, are you telling me you wouldn't kiss a girl in a dark tunnel?
Oh,
right?
I would 100%. But I'm saying the premise and the execution, I feel like it reads differently to younger audiences, whereas to like adults, it might feel a little ridiculous. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, you're stuck in the cave. You only got the one torch, and you're probably gonna die. Like, odds are you're gonna die in this tunnel just with this one dude. Like, yeah, fuck it, kiss. I'd kiss in a tunnel.
I mean, why stop there, honestly? I mean, you're gonna die. You might as well go out with a bang, if you catch what I'm saying.
That's true. No one else is around.
Now, granted, this situation, they're kids, but like in general speaking, I mean,
Yeah, in general, if they are both consenting adults.
or even teenagers. I mean, fuck it,
I mean, what's the age of consent in the Avatar world?
I mean, we're not gonna get into that because it's a little creepy, but
Like, look at where we've gotten to.
I don't want to be one of those guys who knows
Look out.
who knows the age of
Well,
every state.
Technically, Aang is 112 years old, so
So he's
he's
cradle robbing.
fine.
He's cradle
Yeah, so
robbing.
he
Katara
is
is not.
Yeah, so Aang is cradle robbing. Did
but-
that ruin something for you, Ryan?
No.
So I
Oh, God.
guess follow-up question to that though would be then, so how would you write the situation differently to still have them have a moment, but without it feeling like, oh hey, everything happened to get you guys in this room so you guys could have this moment?
It's hard to do romance. Like, it's hard to do romance that doesn't feel contrived. I mean, like, and the situations that they're put in are already ridiculous because of just the sheer premise of the show. I don't think this episode does it poorly. I think within the context of everything that's happening, and like, especially working in like the origin of the city of Omashu and how they use earthbending. Like, I think that was really, really cool. So I don't know how they could have done it better. I just can't stop myself from cringing just a little bit because it felt a little forced. I still think they did it as well as they could, though.
I think it's just because you're old, Ryan.
Yeah, it's probably just
You're a boomer.
Honestly, it's my old man is showing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you fucking boomer.
I mean, so there is some credibility to that. I mean, like, if you've seen this story once, you've seen it 1,000 times, and sure, you can tweak and remix certain things into it, but at the end of the day, this still feels like, oh hey, some kids are getting a little too close to one another for my comfort, kind of thing. Yeah, but
I mean, it does start planting the seeds.
yeah. I mean, ain't was to plant some seeds if you catch what I'm saying.
Yeah. High five.
Don't high five him. He's 12.
But no, what I was
112. All right, he can take the high five.
But where I was going with that though was that's one way to look at it. I think the other thing too is that when it comes to romantic situations, what makes this feel forced to me, and I might be speaking for just myself here, is that a lot of what causes them to end up in this situation where they are stuck together and are kind of pushed in this little corner is outside their control. And I think if you want the relationship being formed to feel as forced, it's got to be an active choice both characters make, not just, oh, hey, situations are happening to force them to make these decisions. It's like, no, they're actively choosing to make these decisions versus, you know, oh, hey, this is all we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the writers are cognizant of that, and they definitely work towards that, like moving forward in the series. But just like originally, they're both kids, and they're both like pretty oblivious to how to maneuver their feelings, how to navigate their feelings. So
or even recognize their feelings at this point if they
right. Like, I mean, we've known that Aang's had a crush on Katara since literally episode 1, so that's not even a thing. But I mean, Katara, like, yes, absolutely. Like, so their youth, like, it requires the plot to kind of nudge them together a little bit, just so that they can like start thinking about it, and then towards the end of the story, they start taking more agency and really like actually questioning whether or not it's a good idea and whether they'll actually do something about it.
Yeah, that's when the fanfics can really take off.
Yeah.
What did you originally make of the phrase "love is brightest in the dark"?
Not that there were glowy rocks in the ceiling. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, that kind of came out of left field.
I liked it though. I actually did like that. It was one of those surprises where, like, in hindsight, it feels obvious, but it actually felt good in the reveal. I feel like that's that's what the best twists do.
Yeah, I get kind of that.
Well, I think that's just like a really good way to, like, you're going to see your lover, to just keep people from finding you guys.
Gonna be hiding in this dark cave until these glowy rocks show up, and we're gonna do some things.
Oh shit! You want a kiss under the glowy rocks?
No, I want to play checkers.
Oh, okay.
What, this set's really cool. It's like it like has glow in the dark paint and everything.
Yeah. Oh no, I've got this set where it's actually, you know, kiss.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, like the band. Nice.
Yeah. They're also glow in the dark.
Fucking awesome. Um, okay. So we're
Get your mind out of the fucking gutter.
well, so speaking of the gutter, so were the musical nomads too much, or did you find their humor charming and fun?
I love the musical nomads.
They were perfect foil to Sokka, so I'm always down for things for Sokka to play off of.
Right?
And it's hilarious because Sokka can be the ridiculous one and the logical one, just depending on the episode. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's a really great character. I love seeing him play off of anything.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
well,
just-
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I love what you said. I love the mixture of like him being like the smart logical one, and then like he's also like the butt of all the jokes. Like it works on a lot of levels. This episode really paints that really well.
It works. Like, I'm a slut for like character foils like this.
So it's been brought up.
I know what I said, Ryan.
Yep.
I know what you said too.
So it's been brought up a couple times. The whole legend of origin of earthbending. Do you find this legend interesting, and would you want to see more stories like this? And for those of us here who saw Korra, which I think is everybody, how do you feel about this conflicting with the origin of bending / the Avatar shown in season 2?
I don't know if it clashes with what, like, so much with what happens in Korra, but as far as just within the first series, like, it's really cool to see the origin of bending.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would like to see like more stuff like this, like how the waterbenders learned from the moon. Like, yeah, UA says that they saw the ocean being pushed and pulled, but like waterbending's the only thing that didn't have an actual like living thing teach them.
It is kind of a weird one, isn't
So like more origin stories like this, yeah.
Yeah. I think like when you put effort into origin stories, it makes your world feel lived in. It makes it feel real. And so the story of Omashu and the story of them learning earthbending from the badger moles, like these are like it makes the world feel actually lived in. Like, even if we don't stay in Omashu for super long, even if we never reference the origin of Omashu again after this,
Exactly.
it still feels good because like you know that Omashu has its own complex history, and if you wanted to look into it, they could write something for that. It doesn't just feel like insert Earth Kingdom City here.
Same for just like the whole world, because like picturing a world without bending or like people learning bending, we may not get like any stories about it, but like it's there, it's a possibility, it's something they've thought about.
Yeah, I just think back to the I know I was going to go against what you said, Nicole, but I think back to what they showed in Korra with the lion turtles teach everybody. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so they learned from lion turtles here. Is that how everyone learned it? Is that just how like certain groups learned it? Like, how does this go into the origins with all these other like the dragons and the bison and all that stuff?
Yeah. From how I interpret it, like only certain people got it from the lion turtles until like all the stuff with Juan, and then the lion turtles are like, no, this is ours now. So people had to find another way to bend. Like I kind of like the idea of like it was a lost art maybe for a little bit. Like only a small percentage of people could do it until like people got with the badger moles or the dragons to learn like how to actually do it themselves.
So what you're saying is we need to see a short story with the second Avatar and how all that stuff builds up from what one fucked up. Okay.
Like I read a comic series about that.
Yeah,
I would absolutely.
I've been reading the comic series for Aang and Korra already, so yeah, give me more. I'm all down for it. And then final question for this episode, and we rolled this one pretty quick. Any thoughts regarding the Iroh Zuko B story, or do you think there's really enough to dive into there?
I think it's a good starting point for Zuko's story. Like it's a filler episode, but it's a good filler episode in which like you get to kind of get deeper into Zuko's character, where it's like it's not super plot related, but you get to kind of take Zuko's temperature in the sense of like where he is like more from a moral standpoint. Whereas he like that a lot of horrible things have happened to him, and that he can recognize when people do him kindness, but he can't necessarily reciprocate it or process it in a healthy way, and his mind will still look to the immediate what can I do immediately to get to my goal, regardless of whether it's right or not. So him starting from here at episode 2 is a good foundation for where he goes till the end of this season and beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah, I concur. Like I said, I don't think there's a lot of meat to it. Like there's a lot of things that happen, but there's definitely a lot of like build. There's a lot of like little things that are leading us down that path. So I'm looking.
Yeah, it's starting to build up on what his redemption will be.
I'm looking forward to seeing that unfold. It's going to be a good season 2 coming up.
Absolutely.
So with that, just a reminder, everybody listening, that you can follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook. You can also email us directly and leave comments down below with your thoughts on what the best song by these hippies is, or what you think the best tasting flower would be. Just let us know in the comments below. I'm sure all the comments will be very, very kid friendly and not at all not at all problematic.
Of course, along with another thing that's not problematic. Also, send in your fanfics for Ryan to read.
Absolutely. We have an open season ahead. Lots of fanfic time to read.
Man.
Lots of fanfics. And if you just got some straight smut, I'll read it. I don't care.
Also, shout out to the channel's first patron, Derek McDermott, for supporting the show. Thank you, Derek, for helping us out here.
Hey!
Shout out to him.
Much appreciated. And Ryan, while people are just getting in line right now to Patreonize us, what could they do to email us? How could they email us their thoughts and flower tastes?
Sure. Please send those special flower things to me directly. But all other flower related.
You hogging the flower?
No, not at all. But you can email us at after credit secret podcast. Excuse me. That's evacstation@gmail.com.
I knew he kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
You knew he would.
Sure.
So this is a part of the show where we rank the episode from platinum to bronze and all the colors in between. Let's start with the Avatar state. What do you guys want to rank this one?
Damn it.
I mean, like, it's a good start, and like nothing. I don't know, like it's build up.
Yeah,
is build up for me for later things down the road. So for me, I'm probably gonna give the Avatar state 3 buried friends.
Jeez.
Out of how many friends?
Don't worry about it.
And how does that translate to medal rankings, Nicole? Good lord.
There's some science wizards out there. They'll figure it out.
Yeah. Look, people understand my rankings, and they know who they are. You're just too smooth-brained to realize my big brain.
All right. Yep. No. That's fine. I'll take that. Sure.
Ryan, how about you? Where would you rank this one?
So yeah, like Nicole said, it's build up, but it's really good build up. It's really smart build up. Solely because I know the heights and the depths that we're going to touch on this season, I'm going to give it a very high silver, because it's a great start, but this season has a lot of other places for it to go, and I have to be careful with my golds and platinums. So yeah, I'll give this a very high silver.
Oh yeah, I already know at least 2 or 3 episodes I'm thinking might be platinum, which I don't like giving that many out, but there's a lot of good ones.
There is
good episodes.
But I'm gonna go silver as well. I think that this could easily be a gold if you polish it up in certain spots, but I don't know where you would exactly. But as far as everything else goes, it's a solid gold or a solid silver. I'd say that's where it is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then ranking for the what's the other one? Cave of Two Lovers. Ranking for two lovers. Where do you guys want to put that one at?
That one I'd give a bronze. It's not a bad bronze. It's still like a pretty like high tier bronze.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's adding fuel to the Aang and Katara romance, which is good for the younger viewers, and it does some good character foundation work for Zuko. It's just to get us started before we really start digging into the meat. So yeah, I give it a bronze.
And Nicole?
Yeah, same. It does a little bit more for the world building with the Tale of the Two Lovers. Plus, how can you not love the seeing hippies?
Absolutely.
Like them alone. Like I was hyped for this episode just because I was like, oh, I get to hear the song.
I feel bad that Chaz missed out because I know he hates the hippies, but
What? I'll fight him.
Chaz is just a contrarian. It's fine.
I think I also think he might just be a contrarian. Yeah.
He just hates everything that is good.
I mean, he does like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, so I mean, there is something to that.
He likes it.
I don't know. Spider-Man's still pretty trash. He's a menace.
Wall-crawling menace.
Yeah, he's a menace that is corrupting the youth.
Oh my god.
My ranking for this one will probably be a bronze as well. It's one of the better bronzes, though. It's got better polish, it's got better visuals, and the world building is really solid. I just wish the main plot had been a bit stronger on its own, but overall, still good. That's it for this week. Tune in next week where we'll be talking about Return to Amashu, of course, and The Swamp. Pretty solid episodes, I think, coming up. It'll be fun.
Ooh, The Swamp, yes.
Swamp.
Until next time, though, we'll see you after the credits.
Bye.
Bye.